Hello everybody, welcome back to the Gearhead 426 channel. Last video I was in the truck. I went to go pick up the brand new Z, and we're gonna go ahead and go over that a little bit. Before I do that though, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that I have no internet at the moment because we got hit by Hurricane Michael. I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. Some of you guys know that. We did get hit by Hurricane Michael. I was out of power for about 5 days. In fact, I've had the Z for about a week or two now. It's been a little while. I haven't uploaded any videos yet because I don't have internet and power and all this, but I have edited a good bit of the videos, so there might be coming up pretty rapidly for a little while. Might be doing one every 2 days. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet, but I will do something. So enough of all that kind of stuff. I'm tired of making long videos that explain way too freaking much. Let's just go ahead and jump straight into the new Z. So this is the new Z. It is a 2006, just like the black one. Both rev up, both are manual. Few things about this one. Let me go ahead and pop the hood. Okay, so I've kind of already jumped the gun a little bit. I already started taking apart my other Z off camera. This one did not have all of this right here. This that is from that Z. This one is 2JZ ready, and what I mean by that is if you look down here, you can see the cut right there. That's so that the 2JZ could fit with its oil pan. So this vehicle is 2JZ ready. I don't want to put a 2JZ in it, so I'm going to go ahead and take the crossmember out of my Z and put it into here, and have it VQ ready. Now this one is a few specs above mine, and what I mean by that is OEM wise, this one came with the Bose audio system. It still has the cruise control, the radio controls, all that kind of stuff on the steering wheel. So as far as that goes, they're both identical. This one has Brembo brakes stock, which is pretty sweet. Unfortunately, they're not there. A lot of the stuff that I need is actually not here. The story on this car is actually kind of a interesting one. It's one that we've had to figure out. This vehicle was totaled. It hit a guardrail right here and sustained a little bit of front end damage, being right there and here. All of that has already been fixed up. That's part of why I already have all this up front, is to make sure that it's lined up and all good to go, which it is, thank God. That's less things I have to do. When I bought it, it had a Ohio salvage title and now has a Florida rebuild title. So once I get everything ready for it and whatnot, I can bring it in and get it inspected. It should be good to go. Given that that isn't really much of a crucial area as far as structure goes on the vehicle, it ain't going to be a big deal with that damage. In fact, what I'm going to go ahead and do is clean it up a little bit, paint it, make it look a lot nicer than what it is. But here's a few weird things that I've noticed on this car. It is a 2006. It says it right at the door jamb. In fact, these two, both of them, were built in the same factory, except this one was built a few months before this one was. So I know for a fact it's a 2006. But this vehicle was pieced out, which is not super great for me. But at the same time, it's not a horrible thing because I have a parts car. These doors, obviously not original. These are 2005 taillights. As you can see, the difference on them, these ones are incandescent, and 2006 and up are LED. I did get a nice bonus though. I have the fogged, or I guess darkened, or whatever you want to call it, directional lights, which are pretty nice. They look a lot better than the stock ones, so that's really great. I do need to go ahead and replace this bumper, which thankfully I have the one from that car. Reason why is there's a few spots on it that are broken that need to be fixed. Has no seats. It actually has a 2005 center console, which I thought was kind of weird. Like I did say, it has the Bose audio system, so I have the subwoofer. Yay. I have some plans for that. The fenders are eBay, not a big deal. I'm gonna put the OEM ones back on. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done to this thing. Just gonna move to the interior. I don't have any seats, which sucks. Well, I do have a driver's seat. It's the only one you need, right? There's a few things in here that need to be changed immediately. One of the things that needs to be changed immediately, you could barely see it, but right here, this is a bracket that the guy that I bought it from welded in for a hydro brake. Now, horrible placement in my opinion for a hydro brake, especially in a Z. Like, it's pretty cramped over here. In all honesty, you'd want to put it over here, maybe here, but that's just a horrible spot. But they cut the carpet to go ahead and fit it in, and I want to restore this thing to its former glory and have it as a daily driver. So I have to remove this carpet, cut this bracket out, grind all that down, and I have to do a good bit of work. Thankfully though, I have the carpet from the other Z and it's undamaged. As you can see, the dash, I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything out on this thing. I mean, everything out. This door is good, which is the one I need. This door I'm swapping out. I'm putting my original door on here because the key for it I don't have. Like, these aren't original doors. This is I think the original key, but it doesn't unlock this door. So yeah, what I'm gonna go ahead and do though is pretty much take everything out of that one and put it in this one. I mean, like, center console, key, computer, wiring harness, everything. So I know there's not a compatibility issue and it's as close to OEM as possible. And hopefully, if it's done correctly, just like I did the truck, you won't even notice the difference between, you know, the factory and the one that I built. I do not think this is the stock gauge cluster, and the reason why I say that is there's a lot of mileage inaccuracies. The vehicle was sold to me as a salvage title with 84,000 miles on it. Salvage title, which means there shouldn't have been any miles put on it. I mean, I understand maybe 1,000 or so, but that's it. And the vehicle was sold with no engine in it. And whenever the guy that got it before me, he got it with no engine in it. So I went and I put power to the vehicle, and this gauge cluster does not say 84,000 miles. It says 96,000 miles on it. So I don't even think this is the stock gauge cluster. I did go ahead and look this vehicle up. It was originally sold as a Coparts vehicle. I still need to go ahead and pay to get the pictures for it though, because if I want to go ahead and get this thing registered and everything all good on it, I need to have the photos to show the guy that inspects it to make sure everything was fixed properly. Thankfully here in Florida, the mileage isn't going to mean anything. You can get exempt from the mileage reading as long as your vehicle is over 10 years old. Thankfully, both of these are 2006, so we're looking at 12 years. We're well in the green. But I will be swapping in everything. I mean, even that one's gauge cluster I'm going to be putting into here just so there's not a compatibility issue. But I will be taking, you know, certain parts. Like, there's some parts on this vehicle that I didn't have on that vehicle, or there are certain parts that are broke on that vehicle that are perfectly fine on this vehicle. So there's some give and some take. There are some things that I made out on, there's some things I lost out on. But I can tell you, like, this center console, that's a 2005 center console. That's not a 2006. So is what it is. But what is nice is I do have the Bose, which I really like. I haven't pulled it apart to actually see if it's in there. If it is, if it's not, I'm not too worried because at least I have the cover for it so I can put a speaker in there. And to me, that'd be kind of a big deal because I want to put not the stock speaker, but I do want to put a better sound system in here. I just want to keep the stock locations because to me, I like to optimize the amount of space I have. I don't want to fill it up. I want to keep all of my space. If anything, I want to make more. Which is why in the truck, I have a subwoofer underneath the passenger seat. well, underneath the rear passenger seat behind the driver's seat. So that's what's going on with the new Z. It's going to be a hell of a project. It's going to be a lot of freaking work, but it's going to be worth it. I paid pretty good for it. They were selling it for 15, bought it for 11. Really good deal there. One of the reasons why I do have to take the dash apart though is the AC evaporator. One of the outlets for it, or connections, was cut with a Sawzall, so I have to go ahead and pull that out so I can put this one in. I will say, this would not be worth it at all. Like, absolutely not worth it if I didn't already have a parts car. Because even though I spent 11 on this, I would be spending close to the amount of money that it would cost me to just go on out and buy a used one to completely restore this thing. Like, I mean, it would be a pain. I mean, I'm actually going to go ahead and bite the bullet a little bit too. I'm not even going to put the Brembos back on because I don't have Brembos. I have these. Thankfully, they just bolt right up. It's just a different brake line, but that's okay. I have the brake lines. I'm going to put those back on it simply because I don't have $1,000 to just drop on some used Brembos, not to mention all the brake lines, because all that stuff's gone as well. If I didn't have a parts car, this wouldn't be worth it at all. I'd be spending probably just as much, if not more, to just go ahead and buy one used that is in much better condition. Thankfully, one of my buddies actually showed me that there's a lot of items on this one and on this one that I do not need, is in the terms of, like, I'll be having a lot of duplicate parts. You know, parts that are like, oh, this won't break, or stuff like that, that I just do not need at all, that I could go ahead and sell on eBay and whatnot that people will buy. Like, good example would be these hinges right here. I don't need those, and those hinges aren't damaged. You know, sell them for $30 a set with the bolts on eBay, and you know, they normally go for like $40 on eBay. So that's a deal right there for somebody, and that's money going towards the project. So hopefully, and I mean hopefully, between selling everything that I do not need that is still in good condition, and, you know, buying this and buying parts and all that kind of stuff, like I need to buy exhaust, hopefully I'll break even. If I don't, if I'm a little under, that's okay. And what I mean by break even is I'm not trying to pay this off. I spent $7.5 on this. I'm not trying to pay this off. So what I mean is, by breaking even, is selling all the parts to cover the cost of buying this vehicle, buying whatever parts I need to put into it, like different motor mounts, because motor's out may as well. Someone was actually trying to, you know, tell me, hey, go ahead and do the clutch while you're at it, put in a really nice clutch. I'm still thinking about it. But, you know, putting in certain things like the exhaust and all that and whatnot, trying to sell those parts to break even on that. I don't see myself breaking even, but hopefully I won't go far into the negatives. Like right now I'm 1,100 in. Hopefully by the end of it I'll still be 1,100 in after buying, you know, exhaust and parts and all that kind of stuff. That would be really nice if I could make $1,000 off of whatever I could get from this vehicle. Besides all of that stuff though, that is what is going on with my car, with the Z. I need to actually go ahead and start working on the bug a little bit. It's like 900 miles overdue for an oil change. That's what's going on. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you're stopping by for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hope everybody is taking care and having a great day.